Welcome back. This is Brian Stillman at NAB 2019 New York. I'm here with Michael Artis, BeTerrific CEO. It's good to have you here, Mike.
Good to be here, Brian.
Thanks
so much for having me.
Thanks for having you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
You know, you've interviewed me in the past. I've never interviewed you.
I know. This is kind of a role reversal. I don't get interviewed all that much.
Well, I promise to be gentle. All right, so we're here to talk about the Agility Quadricep.
Yes.
The new panels that BeTerrific has created.
I'm really excited about this. So, you know, we have two verticals of BeTerrific. We have BeTerrific, which is an OTT creating original programming, live streaming.
That's why we're here.
You are the Terrifics. We bring you great content and stories. And we do that with original programming. It's really awesome.
Right.
Then we have BeTerrific Tech. We do all that OTT stuff for others, Microsoft, Universal Pictures, the list goes on. And then we also do video walls, projection mapping. We do digital and interactive signage. We do cast boards. We're the only digital cast board on Broadway, and they can operate the cast board, the stage managers, by their phone, so they can change the cast out. Yep. And now we've introduced our very first product, our own design, developed, and we oversee manufacturing with our manufacturing partner in China, and that is the Agility Quadricep. And this product is amazing. It is a LED panel that is flexible, water resistant to IP65, weatherproof. It's under 3 pounds in weight, and it flexes in multiple directions at one time.
So why'd you decide to get into the manufacturing? Because when I came into BeTerrific, you were doing the tech, you're doing the build outs, but you were also doing the broadcasts. What?
It's an interesting question. I've been in the LED business basically and video wall business my whole life. My father did that when I was a kid, and he still does it to this day. And I've always been an entrepreneur and always wanted to have my own product. And I was just really looking for the right opportunity. And we thought that we could make an improvement on the LED industry. We thought we could make something that might be better. It might fill some needs, and in a lot of ways it could help solve a lot of problems. So first of all, LED is traditionally too expensive. Two of the reasons it's too expensive are, one, I think in a lot of cases it's over-engineered. Number two, LED is very heavy, so it costs a lot to ship. It also costs a lot to mount and frame and hang. And your installation costs a lot, and you have to have engineering stamps and stuff, and you have to figure out a lot. If you want to curve that, you take a regular panel that doesn't move, and you put it on an angle, and you put the next one on an angle, and the next one on an angle. I thought we could solve that too. And we've been talking about doing this. Now, LEDs are metric, so it would be 500 millimeter panel by 500 millimeter, or 500 by 1,000 millimeter, and they leave a lot of gaps on walls. It's hard to fill them in. We did 12 inches by 12 inches, so it can fill most walls. We're doing a 6 inch by 6 inch to fill those gaps. We just thought, well, we can solve all these problems. So we made a cabinet-like design that doesn't have this huge metal framing around it. Then it weighs less than 3 pounds each, so it doesn't take a huge amount to install it. These are just metal structures. You see it behind us. They're just metal, sheet metal. We got it at a metal fabricator. The day the show started, he cut some holes for us. We came here, we bent it, and we hung it. And it takes nothing to hang, and it's so easy. So we wanted to do that. We had an opportunity with a client who's a great client of ours who loves us and trusts us, and we said, we think we can make this. We're interested in making a product like this. Would this fit your needs? They said yes, because they wanted something flexible. We said, we think we could make it, and they said, go to it, and here's a PO.
So here's my question.
They've now bought 3 other orders, and we're off to the races, and now we're showing it for the first time publicly. This is the official launch. We're really excited about it.
So these panels are made of a silicone,
come on, let's go see them.
Silicone material. What were some of the challenges of bringing something like this out? Because you had a number of innovations you wanted to put involved.
First, let me tell you, you've got the bacon strip. You've got the column or the flexible curve. This turns the corner. You'll see as we come around them that they're very easy to install, just sheet metal. And we're going to get a more of a tour here with David. He's going to show you how to do it. Here's a 3-stack. You've got a 2x5. Okay, now to your question. David is right here. David Kleinstein, everybody. He's going to show you how it's done, how you take it apart. But before we do that,
what were some of the challenges bringing this thing to market? Developing a new type of panel that accomplishes the goals you wanted to have, that has the flexibility, has the weatherproof, lighter, cheaper.
We did this in 4 months, so that's challenge 1. We've been to China 5 times in 4 months. We're about to go back. We're going to continue to innovate. It's challenging. You have to find a factory. You have to find a new factory, because in our case, we fired our first factory in the middle of the night, and we found a great partner, and we're partnered with them. And you have to do all the right things. One piece of advice I can give people when they want to start something is find people who know more than you. And so we have a guy named George who is unbelievable, George Ortega, and he has a company called Full Circle Sourcing. And George was at Ford for 14 years in quality control. Then he headed up the quality control for Questron for 10 years. And then he went on his own and started Full Circle, and Questron's a client of his. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say that, but I just did. Anyway, so you find a guy like that, and that guy can help you navigate the process. In addition, he's checking everything that they do to make sure that they're honest and that they're doing it right. So you're going, they go, well, this is gold LEDs. And he goes, prove it. And then they have to prove it, which is wonderful. I get to watch somebody else, get a little hot under the collar. And then it takes a team, a wonderful team, to go there and spend every night on the phone with China, and then to go there and to modify everything. You have to be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to have rolling changes, and you have to be a little nuts. You do.
Right.
And you have to be willing to take the pain, because there will be pain, and there will be no, and you have to work through it. And I'd say we taught the Chinese people who we work with, our partners, we taught them a lot. They taught us a lot. We taught them a lot, and it's been a wonderful relationship. So it's very hard to do this.
So take us through the panel. Let us see what's going on here.
So it's basically just a magnetic panel. So all you need is a piece of sheet metal, any magnetic frame, and you can adhere it to. It'll go onto any
So this is a metal frame that is two-sided. So we have it on both sides, and we curve the metal back. This is just a piece of sheet metal. We put two pieces of wood to stand it, and this was a piece of scrap that we had, and I said, let's build this. That's just sheet metal, nothing behind it at all. It's 16-gauge sheet metal. It was a flat piece when we got here. We curved it here at the Javits Center, and we just drilled some holes in it and hung it. We drilled the holes here, too.
Yeah, I watched you guys bending it against a post over there.
And the union guys have been amazing here. NAB has been amazing here. They've been unbelievable to us. They're so welcoming. We partnered with them on the live stream, but they've been so welcoming on this. And they don't have a ton of debuts here and launches, and they want more.
Right.
And they've been sending people over here, and they're excited about it.
Here's the thing. Why hasn't anyone done this before? It's something I asked you when you first showed me the panels. It seems like these are solving problems that are not new problems to the industry. Why is it taking so long for someone to come up with this and make this work?
I don't know. I really don't have the answer. I can make assumptions, but I don't think that that's fair to anybody. The only thing that I would say is I think people traditionally think you have to have this big rigid frame around it. If you actually look at the big rigid frames that go around most LEDs, they're not protecting anything, because they don't go around the LED. They don't put a frame around the LED, which is what's the fragile part, is the LED. So they're not protecting anything. They're protecting kind of the PCB board on the side and in the backs, but it's not fragile. So you can protect the LED a little bit with an epoxy, which we're putting on some of our products. It's an option, okay? But LEDs are fragile.
Right.
You have to treat them well. These are pretty durable. You can see, these have been taken in and out all day for 2 days, plus where we travel with them. We just did a nice project for Delta Airlines with them. So I think people sometimes dare to dream and dare to take risks, and when they dare or second guess, then they don't do it. To do this, it wasn't even cheap. When you talk to the factory, they're like, we have to make molds and we have to do this. And by the way, if it doesn't work, Michael, that's on you, not on us. Like, we think we can make this work, but we don't know, and so you have to take the risk. And I don't know, maybe people aren't willing. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe they just didn't think of it this way. Maybe they thought it's fine the way it is. You can get this so thin and so tight to a wall, though.
From dream to, you said you spent 4 months in China working on this. When did you first have the
idea? Back and forth. I'm now like a super traveler. This guy's 1K on one airline. It's unbelievable.
But when did you first come up with the idea? When did you first say, I want to do this? I have an idea. I want to make a panel that works in a certain way.
We work with a lot of great LED manufacturers. We represent their products. We sell them. We install them. And we rent them. And I just kept always saying, this makes no sense to me. Can't we do it better? What if we did it this way? What if we did that? Why is it 500 millimeter by 500 millimeter? This makes no sense. And then if you talk to people, they go, well, that's the way the rest of the world is. I understand, but a 1 foot by 1 foot still fills a wall. The wall is still, if I go into Europe and I measure a wall, I can still take a American tape measure and go, it's 12 feet wide. And so I understand what they're saying, but I thought 500 millimeter was too wide. The other thing that this does that's really important is most LED panels have separate modules. The modules create gaps, and they have to be put together. And that's very hard to keep those gaps straight. Here, this is all one piece, so your only gap is at the 12-inch mark.
Right.
And so you don't have to you don't have to worry about all these micro gaps inside which make the screen not look as good. So this fits together really nicely, and that's another issue we solved. That they think we're crazy. They think we're crazy in China, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're like, what do you mean? Okay, why don't we break this up into 6 pieces? Why would I want to break that up into 6 or 4 pieces? This is perfect. And then, well, if a pixel goes out, fine, we'll have an extra panel. You put an extra panel in. It's front serviceable. You take it off. It takes 2 seconds to change, and you send it back to us, and we'll repair the pixel. Taking a module out doesn't let you repair the pixel any easier.
Right. What was the biggest thing that you tossed at the factory that made them kind of raise an eyebrow? What component was the thing where you went, this is the thing we want to do, and they went, really?
Everything. But they were awesome. They're awesome. We loved them. The box on the back. We have
what is the box on the back?
This is the receiving box, and someday in the future it'll be the receiving and battery box. We passed the signal, and they daisy chain all through. This is over RJ45. And so they did not want to put a box here. Nobody wants to do that. And
where do they normally put the box? Like,
what you do is you put up
the signal processing.
You have a big metal frame that you put a bunch of modules in. You wire all the modules to a center post, and you put the and all the receiving goes in the center post. Then you've got a 25 to 55 pound frame or panel, one panel.
So they're not being attached to individual panels. So this makes it an entirely self-contained kind of unit.
It does, and they thought we were nuts. They really did. They I don't think they got it till they came by here yesterday.
Right. Wow. That's to me that seems like a fairly logical way to do it. Again, all the things that you're talking about, all the things that you implemented.
Show them how it bends in multiple directions at one time.
They didn't get it.
Why nobody else thought of it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know. I realize.
Why didn't somebody else think of the iPhone? Why didn't somebody else think of the Apple IIe? I don't know.
These just seem to solve such elementary problems.
Why didn't somebody think of putting air in a sneaker before Phil Knight?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well,
but show them the corners, Dave. Bend the other corner the other way. All right, I'm talking to Brian. I wasn't necessarily paying attention. Let's show you the wave in the back. I love this thing. You got to get a good shot of this thing. Look at this. All right, so this is my favorite. We were watching the Yankee game on this the other night as we were putting it up. And, I mean, Adam, if you come to this angle right here, this is, this is the angle. And you do a little walk into it and go up. I mean, look at that. I'm very proud of this. I don't know if you could tell. I'm sorry. I don't mean to steal the show from you, Brian.
Steal away, Mike.
What do you think of this?
I'm impressed. It's funny. You've been talking about this with me for a while. I hadn't had a chance to see them. Obviously, I wasn't part of the development process. So the first time I got a chance to see them in their glory was here at NAB, and I didn't quite know what to expect. And I think they look great. I mean, they're sharp. They're bright. They got a lot of contrast. Seeing them sort of follow this wave without the gaps you're talking about, without that kind of geometric pattern, to make it follow a wave is wild. I mean, it's crazy looking.
This wasn't just us. This was our chairman seeing and understanding our vision and also having that vision and feeling that we needed a product to differentiate ourselves so that we weren't just installing others' products, something that was creative. We're going to continue to innovate with this product, and he's been a tremendous force and support. Dr. David Milch, he's not here today, but he's wonderful, and I have to mention that. I also have to mention Brad Weston from Renewed Vision. His software is phenomenal.
I was just going to ask you, talk about the software a little. What's powering this?
We use PvP to drive this. Let's turn around this way so we could look at the screen. We use PvP, which is wonderful software from Renewed Vision, to drive this. The company is Renewed Vision. They have a lot of different software, and it's so easy. Push of a button, and everything's automated, and it's wonderful, wonderful video wall software. We recommend it all the time and use it on everything.
And you can see the sort of array on the back here, how it's all set up. And they're waterproof. And we set
they're
up
water resistant. Waterproof would be to a real depth.
Water resistant.
Yeah,
well,
they're submergible, but you can't put
outdoors, so water resistant
and weatherproof.
And we can show that off actually. So
a lot of great people help put this together. Yes, we can show that off. Why don't we go do that real? Oh well, you know what? We have it live in our studio, so why don't we just have Nick put that up on the screen right now? You're looking at a live look of our tiles in our studio getting rained on by a shower head.
tiles in, but hey, it happens.
Brad, can we put up Lady Liberty on these real quick? This is Brad, everybody. He's from Renewed Vision, and he's going to push one button, and we're going to get Lady Liberty. So look at him, and then we'll show the screen. Oh, he just did it. I don't. That took a long time. And here's Lady Liberty, everybody. Look at that, right here in New York. Thank you, Brad. Okay, so you've got a wonderful LED tile. It's very flexible, and one of the things I wanted to do was have an all-purpose tile. I wanted to be able to have an indoor-outdoor tile, a flexible, tile that you could also make flat. I didn't want to have like 800 products. I wanted to have 2 products, one that's flexible, one that's not. The one that's flexible could do everything. The one that's not, just for certain applications. And then I wanted to have a couple different versions. In a daylight bright, 6,500 nits. And then I wanted to have everything had to be that. You can lower the brightness all the way down to 620 nits, so indoor viewing, or for television sets or whatever. And then I wanted to have different pixel pitches. I wanted to have a fine pitch, a super fine pitch, and a mega fine pitch, and we're going to get there. We're going to have the super fine pitch. This is the fine pitch, 3.8. We're going to have the 2.5 super fine pitch soon, and the mega fine pitch will be, the 2.5 will be in a month, and then the super fine pitch will be sometime next year.
As you've moved through this process, as you've developed this, is it easier, now that the factory understands what you're going for, now that you've sort of worked out some of the kinks on this one, is it easier to move towards that goal of the mega fine pitch?
No. You have to fight and crawl, and you have to know what you're doing and say, no, I don't accept that as no. I don't accept that answer, and this is how you could do it, or this is how I think you could do it. And then you have to call a friend who's an engineer or somebody else, and you have to say, can I do this? And they say yes, and then you have to say, look, they trust us and we trust them. They're a wonderful partner, but you still have to go, no, you're not thinking. They even thanked me last night. In my office, after our little get-together, they said, you've taught us to think different and to open our minds, and we can't even thank you enough. I'm serious. It's silly. It's not my line. I stole it from Steve Jobs. I just say, think different. I just say, every time they give me a hard time, I go, you're thinking about it wrong. Think different. And I push back, and you have to. And because they still go, well, we could make this in a 1-2, but we'll break it up into modules. No. And you have to be willing to say no, not accept. Not say, oh, okay. You have to say no. Yeah, they're wonderful, but it's not easy yet. And we're going to China again. We're going to China. We're going to do it. We have to go. So every order, we personally oversee the manufacturing and we QC it. And they feel we don't have to, but we feel it's important for our customers. We're a customer service oriented business. That's it.
So here it is. You're at NAB.
Yeah.
You're launching the product. How's it feel? You're out the other end of that tunnel.
Well, I got to tell you, it feels amazing. I watched a lot of people I know launch products over the years. I got very excited for them. I cheerleaded them. I watched a company called BeTerrific. I was kind of part of it because I was doing their live streams, but I watched them go from a seed all the way to a full tree, or the rocket to the launch to the thing, and I watched that, and I feel like there's that buzz around it. It's been very popular here. I'm very proud. We have a long way to go, but it feels amazing. And the pressure that you have for 4 months, is this going to work? Are people going to like it? Am I crazy?
Right.
Everybody's telling me I'm crazy. Comes off you in one day. Like all that weight kind of, and it's amazing, this guy George, who I love, said to me as we're going to this new factory, you can't change factories, you don't change horses midstream. You're crazy. And I said, we're doing this. And on the way out of the new factory, he said, let's do it.
Cool.
I converted him.
All right.
3-year warranty.
3-year warranty.
And they're very reasonable. They really are. In the LED world, they're very affordable.
Well, what is one retail for?
So one of these at 3.8 retails for $750. The 2.5 will go $850 per panel.
Right.
And if you buy a certain amount, you get a processor with that and all that. Otherwise, the processor's extra. The metal, all this sheet metal was $350. So we'll help you install it and figure it out. But you could do it on your own too. Great for concerts and stuff. And so that's really it. The 1.2 will be a different price. We don't know yet. And we're going to have, these are all gold. We have a copper line that's coming out, which will be available at B&H very soon.
Excellent. Mike, congratulations, man. It's been good to see this come out.
Thank you very much. Oh, 10% off NAB show special.
Oh, there you go, guys.
And by the way, if you're buying huge quantities, you do get a discount. And we have packages.
All right. Michael Artis, BeTerrific, the Agility Quadricep. Check it out, BeTerrific.tech.
BeTerrific.tech, BeTerrific.com also works, but BeTerrific.tech. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's this sort of inception kind of thing going on right here. All right, I'm Brian Stillman. I'm here with Michael Artis. We're at BeTerrific. We're at NAB 2019, New York City, Jacob Javits Convention Center. Stick around. We got a lot more coverage coming your way.